Hey, welcome back. I'm Mark and this is Chase Your Taste. Today we're making chicken meatballs, something new that I've decided to try. So, right now I'm at my garden. I'm going to pick some herbs. This is also going to have a cream sauce for it. So, what do you say we get to cooking? Let's cut some herbs for our chicken. I'm going to cut some basil and some rosemary. We're gonna mix this up into the chicken once we get it cut. So let's get to cooking. All right, the first thing we're gonna do for our chicken meatballs is we're gonna grind up some chicken. Now you can use whatever chicken you want. I've got some thighs here. You can use breasts. You can use a combination of breasts or thighs. I've got my meat grinder hooked up to my KitchenAid here, so we're gonna turn that on. We're gonna go ahead and grind up our chicken. Cut this up into smaller pieces. And we're just going to feed that into our meat grinder. And I got my meat grinder on, got the coarse blade in it. Now, if you don't want to put the skin in it, you don't have to, but I'm using the skin also. And it's best if you use cold chicken, so if you've had it out for a while to thaw it, then you go ahead and put it back in the freezer for about 15 minutes and get it nice and cold. Mine was frozen, so it's still kind of cold. Alright, so we get those deals tamped down. And that looks like about it. So there's my chicken. So we're going to season this chicken up and then we'll make some meatballs out of it. All right, for our chicken meatballs in cream sauce, I have my chicken. I've got some heavy whipping cream, some diced tomatoes, some wine, some white wine, onions, about one onion chopped up, and we're going to end up using that between the meatballs and the sauce. I've got some salt and pepper, an egg, some breadcrumbs, some herbs from my garden, and about half a cup of Parmesan cheese that have been grated, and some garlic. So what do you say we get to putting all this together? Okay, so I ended up with about 22 meatballs, and I fried them up. Now you don't have to fry them up all the way because we're going to end up putting this into the sauce that I'm going to make, and it'll finish cooking them off. So I browned them and put them, set them aside, and then the next thing we're going to do is, and I browned those in some olive oil. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our onions, and I'm going to put some butter in with the olive oil, melt some butter. All right, got that going. So let's put our onions in there, and I'm going to put what was left of the onions off in there, and we're going to cook these until they're translucent. Now, If you don't like as many onions as I do, you don't have to put this many in there. I like onions. So now we're going to add a little bit of salt. And some pepper. Now you can do this to taste. If you don't want salt, don't put salt. Now once these cook down just a little bit, then we're going to throw our garlic in there. Now this will take 2 or 3 minutes, so I'll come back once we get them sweated down and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so our onions are almost done, so we're going to go ahead and add the garlic in. Now I don't put the garlic in too soon because I don't want it to burn, because when it burns it gets bitter and we don't want that. So this is just going to take about a minute or so. And then we'll add our fresh herbs. Alright, so now we're going to add these fresh herbs that we picked out of the garden. Get that stirred in there. Just give that a couple minutes, or not even that long, just a little bit. Get those herbs going. Now it smells real good in here. So now we're going to add our wine, and that's about a cup of wine. And I use these little bottles because I don't like dry wine to drink with, but it sure makes a good sauce. So we're going to get this boiling. We're going to reduce this by half, and then we'll add our cream into it. So before I forget, I forgot my chopped tomatoes, or my diced tomatoes. Now I drained this because I don't want any extra juice in there. So we're going to put that off in there. Like I said, we're going to let this reduce by half. And once it gets to boiling, then it'll reduce, and then we'll add our cream to it. Alright, be right back. Alright, so our wine has cooked down to about half. Now don't be afraid of the alcohol, because the alcohol will burn off, so don't worry about that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put about a cup of heavy whipping cream in here. And then we're going to let this, once we get this stirred up like that, once it gets to boiling again, we're going to go ahead and add our meatballs to it, and then we'll let it reduce by half, and by the time it does that, our meatballs should be cooked all the way through. So be right back. Alright, so our sauce started boiling, so we're going to go ahead and add these chicken meatballs back in here, and the heat from the sauce will finish cooking these off. Now you don't want to overcook your chicken meatballs. Chicken will tend to dry out, and we don't want that. That's another reason why I use the thighs instead of breasts, because thighs tend to be more juicier than the breasts themselves. So, but you can do a combination of both. So we're going to put these in here, let these cook, reduce this sauce by half. Then we'll add some Parmesan cheese to it and get it melted. And then we'll try these meatballs for the first time. Alright. Alright, so it's starting to look good. Just give this a little bit of a stir. We're almost there to getting ready to put the Parmesan cheese in there. It's starting to look good. All right, it's been about 5 minutes or so. Our sauce is reduced. It smells real good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our grated Parmesan cheese in there. Wish I had some more, but I don't have any more. So, and then we'll just turn the fire down a little bit. And we're going to let this melt the cheese. Now you can also put some mozzarella cheese in there. But that looks good. We'll let it boil for a couple more minutes. Simmer. Make sure all that cheese is melted out of there. Now I did opt to put some mozzarella in there also. So just wanted a little bit cheesier sauce. So we'll get that mixed up in there also, and then we'll simmer this till our cheese is melted. And I'll put it in the bowl. Alright. Alright, looks like everything's pretty well melted. So we're going to go ahead and put this back into, or put it into a bowl. Get it plated up. Looks good. Be right back. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our meatballs out. Be real careful, don't get this all on you. Smells really good. Alright. Alright. And there you have it. Chicken meatballs in a cream sauce. So let's give it a taste. Grab one of these meatballs here. Cut into it. And see, it's all done in the middle. So what do you say we give it a taste? All right, so let's give our meatballs a try. So here's the meatballs. Like I said, they're done all the way through. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dip it down in the sauce a little bit here. Get a little bit of that sauce on there. Now that's good. It's still moist. I think it's a great try for my first time for chicken meatballs. I'll do this again. Now you can serve this over pasta, rice, potatoes, anything like that. If you didn't want to make the cream sauce, you can make the chicken meatballs and put a little toothpicks on it, and you can dip it in some cheese or something like that. But yeah, these turned out really good. So give it a try. Let me know how you like it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notify button there. And that way you'll know that I put out a new video. And hey, don't forget to chase your taste.